Welcome to the Brookfield Central School District Class of 2020 commencement. We begin with a baccalaureate address, followed by the graduation ceremony.
Hello to all you graduates of the 2020 class of Brookfield Central School, and hello to anybody else that may be watching this video. You may be wondering who I am and why I'm here on this graduation video. Well, it has been a tradition for a long time here in Brookfield for the Baptist Church to hold a baccalaureate service for the graduating class. Traditionally, we hold that service down at the church, but because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we were not able to have a baccalaureate service this year. However, Mr. Plows called me and kindly asked if I would like to give a brief, he was very serious about the brief part of a message for you graduates through a video. Obviously, I said yes, and so here I am on your graduation video. I want to thank Mr. Plows and the Board of Education for this opportunity to share a message, a brief message, with you graduates and again, anyone who may be watching this video. I also want to congratulate each of the graduates for all of your hard work and for making it to this point in your life. This is a wonderful accomplishment, an important accomplishment, and you've worked very hard to get to this point. So congratulations to each and every one of you. For those of you who don't know me, I am Pastor Mark. I am one of the pastors at the First Baptist Church here in Brookfield. Some of you may know my wife, Deb. She's a teacher's assistant here at the school, and she told me that this class was the first class that she worked with when she first started here. So I think that's kind of a neat connection. As I said, I am here to give a baccalaureate message, so here we go. Are you ready? Let me hear you. All right, sounds like you're ready. Anyway, I've titled the message, One Thing They Don't Teach You in School. One thing they don't teach you in school. As you went through school, you all learned some very important things that will help you as you go through life. And if you're like me, I've learned some things in my educational time that I've never used again. But that's okay. That's par for the course. The teachers and educational people don't know what we'll use or won't use as we go on to various careers and job opportunities. For the most part, you have learned some things that you'll need in life that are very important to learn. You learned the 3 R's, right? Reading, writing, and arithmetic. Now, obviously, whoever came up with that phrase, the 3 R's, didn't know how to spell very well, right? Reading's an R, but arithmetic and writing certainly aren't. But in school, you expanded your vocabulary, you've improved your English language and the use of your language. Maybe you took a foreign language, you learned history, science, chemistry, biology. Maybe you learned some art, or maybe you learned how to sing or play an instrument. But you've learned many things that will be helpful to you in your life. And they're all important as you start out into the big world out there and start a new chapter in your life. But there is one thing that probably they didn't teach you in school, and that's this. How you live your life is far more important than what you will do for a living. In other words, being a good person is far more important than getting good grades. The kind of person you are is far more important than the kind of job you will have. Now, in school, the primary focus is on learning new things that you'll need in school. If you play sports, you primarily focus on the fundamentals of that sport and then competing with a team and hopefully winning. But very little time is spent learning how to be a good person that has good morals and good values that make you and this world a much better place. Now, I realize you did learn some of those morals and values. You've learned to be a decent person and a good citizen in the United States. And that's all part of the educational process and that's what you were involved in and received. But the main priority in school is to get you to this point in your life where you graduate from school. But the main priority in life is much more than graduating from school. The main priority in life is learning how to live a good, respectable life. I'm sure you've all heard about some people that are really smart people, but are really awful people. You've probably all heard about some people that are fantastic athletes, but aren't fantastic people. You've probably heard of some people that are great actors or great singers, but are total jerks, right? On the other hand, you probably have heard about some people that didn't do so well in school, scholastically, but are wonderful people. You probably have heard of some people that weren't good athletically, but were good people. You've probably heard of some people that can't act or can't sing, but they know how to act in life. And if you spend time with them, they put a song in your heart. Those are the kind of people that you want to be with. So how you live is far, far more important than, again, what you do for a living. The kind of person you are is far more important than the kind of job you will have. Your character is far more important than your career. And the size of your heart towards people is far more important than the size of the paycheck. And I know I'm probably telling you nothing new here, but really, think about this. How much time have you, how much time are you, and how much time will you spend learning how to live the kind of life that God wants you to live? And how do you live that life? Now the world has a different standard for living from God's. You see, how the world tells us how to live is far different than how God tells us to live. The world tells us it's okay to hate your enemies. God says, no, you got to love your enemies. The world tells us to be nice and kind to people. And God says, yeah, be nice and kind to people. But go beyond. Give them the extra niceness and kindness, if you will. The world says if someone asks to borrow your coat, the world says loan them your coat. But God says if someone asks to borrow your coat, you give them your coat and you give them your shirt. The world says if someone asks you to help them for 5 or 10 minutes, you should help them for 5 or 10 minutes. But God says help them for 5 or 10 minutes and then help them for 5 or 10 minutes more. The world tells us to love those that are lovable. And God says, no, love them all. Love the unlovable, love those who are hard to love, and if necessary, be willing to even lay down your life for them. You see, the world's standards are here, and God's standards for living are up here. He has a much, much higher standard for how we are to live. So how you live and the kind of person you are, again, are far more important than anything else. Absolutely anything else in all of the world. I'd like for you to hear something from the Bible that I think explains this and puts it in words that we can relate to. It comes from 1 Corinthians 13. This is what it says. If I have the gift of being able to speak in other languages without learning them, and could speak in every language there is in all of heaven and earth, but didn't love others, I would only be making noise. If I had the gift of prophecy and knew all about what is going to happen in the future, if I knew everything about everything but didn't love others, what good would it do? Even if I had the gift of faith so that I could speak to mountains and make them move, I would still be worth nothing at all without love. If I gave everything I have to the poor, and if I were burned alive for preaching the good news but didn't love others, it would be of no value whatsoever. So my question for you graduates and anyone else who may be watching this video, will you live a life of love? Deep, authentic, sincere love for others. And I'm not talking about ooey gooey, kissy huggy, moochie choochie kind of love. That's romantic love. I'm talking about the kind of love that looks out for the interests of others and that makes personal sacrifices for the betterment of others. That's what God asks us to do. To be self-sacrificing, put others ahead of ourselves, and do whatever it is to make their life better and to bring value to their life and to this world. So my prayer for all of you is that you live in such a way that when your life is over, people will be able to say, this person really loved other people, and the world is much, much better because that's you, whoever it is, was in this world. Thank you, and God bless you.
Please welcome Samantha Yeager, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and please also welcome Sarah Breen, who will sing the national anthem.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome to the Class of 2020 commencement exercises. Joining the Class of 2020, we are pleased to have Mr. Bernie Whitaker, President of the Board of Education, and Mr. James Plowes, Jr., Superintendent of Schools. We're also grateful for guest speakers, Mrs. Sandy Roberts and Mr. Brian Rio, and Senior Class Advisor, Mrs. Kathy Gates. We are grateful for the support from members of the faculty and staff who have worked hard with these graduates and parents, relatives, and friends who have supported the class to reach this day of accomplishment.
Welcome. On behalf of the class of 2020, we would like you to be here to celebrate with us, but due to our current circumstances, we are excited to invite you to our virtual graduation. Although this is not how we imagined graduation to be, it is the safest way we can celebrate with you. Therefore, families, friends, school administration, and guests watching, we hope you enjoy being here for us. This video may get emotional. You will be seeing individuals you've watched grow up now move on to bigger things in their life. We cannot wait to show all of you our accomplishments throughout our long but abruptly ended 14 years of school.
Please welcome Mr. Plowes as he delivers a message to the Class of 2020.
Greetings and salutations to our graduates, to their proud families and friends, and to everyone in the Brookfield Central School community. This is a day of pride and celebration. We share a deep felt pride in the achievements of the class of 2020 as we celebrate these wonderful young adults today. We wish them well as their lives unfold through higher education, immediate employment, and the careers they choose. As we all realize, this is not a typical graduation day. We find ourselves in the midst of national and international crises, the COVID-19 pandemic, an economy with millions of unemployed workers, a government where bipartisanship and cooperation have sadly been replaced by bickering and malice, where unity would obviously be the best choice. Racial unrest continues in our cities. Words such as fear, distrust, anxiety, and hatred appear all too often in the media and everyday conversations. A challenge that you, the class of 2020, faces is to overcome these obstacles and work to heal this nation. While the task is difficult, if you look to history and your family's past, you will find shining examples of people like you, people your age, who also dealt with adversity and, most importantly, triumphed as they built a world that benefited us all. Many of your grandparents and great-grandparents My grandparents lived through the Great Depression of the 1930s and the global conflict we call World War II. They dealt with issues similar to those which we face today. In all likelihood, they listened to graduation speeches that addressed those problems, and united together, they bonded as one nation and triumphed over those challenges. Events of the 1930s and 1940s strongly resemble some of today's headlines. I am optimistic that you, like your ancestors, will find solutions to every crisis. Out of the Great Depression, out of World War II, rose what historians have called America's greatest generation, composed of your great-grandparents, aunts, uncles, and other distant relatives. Brookfield residents like you. Among these were Brookfielders who I have known. I'm going to start that over. Among these were Brookfielders who I know and have known. Dairy farmers such as Doug and Kate Elliott, Clyde and Mildred Head, Vincent and Philomena Kupris, Ed and Myrtle Plows, Harry and Margaret Walker. There were proprietors of that generation's social media, newspaper publishers, Dean and Violet Warden, and those who I was never fortunate enough to meet, heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice in World War II, as did Royce Rogers. The folks who made up the greatest generation shared a set of qualities that were fundamental building blocks to their success. Among these were, they did not complain. They dug deep, pulled up their bootstraps, and met challenges head on. They were optimistic. Never were they pessimistic. They were resilient people who worked, and worked some more. Their work ethic set an enviable standard for future generations. They were humble. They didn't brag. They respected others and never looked down their noses at the less fortunate. They felt a deep sympathy for those in need and helped their fellow citizens whenever possible. They loved their country and would sacrifice their time, wages, and even their lives for it. Your ancestors in our town and in other upstate communities responded to crises in ways that determined the type of people that they would become. They looked at obstacles as challenges that they could conquer. They looked at challenges as opportunities. And they looked at opportunities as an excellent chance for success. To the BCS class of 2020, you and your generation have the same opportunity to make your positive mark in history as the greatest generation. If you choose to give in to the problems created by crises, nothing will be accomplished. If you choose to tackle these problems head on, you will have opportunities. Convert obstacles into opportunities, opportunities into successes. The talent lives within every one of you. It is a talent that brings home league titles. It is a talent that wins sectional championships. A talent that aces Regents exams. And a talent that builds friendships. The skills you continue to develop as you deal with this pandemic will influence the rest of your lives. These skills will help you deal with future crises, both personal and political. As part of your inner strength, these skills will guide your generation in addressing challenges that were neglected or left unresolved by mine. As your lives unfold and you deal with the future, I urge you to consider these principles. Have no tolerance for hatred disguised as a love of country. Use the responsibility that leadership gives you to unify people, never to divide them. Reject fear and paranoia that lead to isolation from the world. Set aside social media that leads to divisions among people. Instead, harness its power to be a distributor of facts and goodwill. Address the threats of climate change, which your generation understands so well, and my generation understands so poorly. Analyze, accept, and advance the ideas that are grounded in the American principle of social justice. Every person in our country deserves equal rights and equal treatment. And so, class of 2020, as you look at your current events, you can see that my generation's failure to convert obstacles into opportunities has left much work to be done. Like America's greatest generation, your moral conscience is now being influenced by multiple world and national crises. You have the opportunity to be like your grandparents and great-grandparents and leave an awesome, positive mark on American history. Rise up and meet the challenges. Triumph over every obstacle. I am confident every one of you can. As you pursue this goal, I ask that you always remember these words, recently adopted as a model by the Brookfield Central School faculty, staff, and administration. Imagine, ignite, innovate, and inspire. Imagine, ignite, innovate, and inspire. Thank you, and Godspeed.
The ones who are quarantined. That was one pretty short senior year. To the class of 2020, who are some of the strongest people I know, I am truly blessed to have all of you in my life, and even more blessed to be standing here as Salutatorian. We came into the world with a bang, and we are leaving high school with a bang. This school and each and every one of our families have taught not only me, but all of us to conquer this whole quarantine. We have been taught to never let anything come in our way of following our dreams, even when the whole world is practically shut down. Knowing that we have spent 14 years of school waiting for this year to come, and we were not able to finish the second half of the year is one of the hardest things to say. Each and every one of us has had ups and downs with each other. In the end, we come through to be friends and always will be. There are not many people who can say they have gone through this pandemic as a senior, and everyone that has or hasn't shows how strong we are. Especially in the small town we live in, everyone cares about one another, even if it might not always seem it. The support of the community has been shown through sports seasons, whether it is fall, winter, or spring sports. Soccer season is my personal favorite. Although the past few years we have not been able to get many girls on the team, the few girls on the team worked together to accomplish everything we could have. This was fought through many injuries, rainstorms, and even playing as players short. The girls' basketball team could not have made it as far as we did without all the support of the community. The past 3 seasons for the girls' basketball team have been tremendous, and we all knew one of these years that we would make it all the way. Having it be this year, my senior year, was lucky but also unlucky. I was able to be on a team and be a part of an amazing experience, but sadly, the season also ended short. We could have had the chance to win states this year, and even that reoccurring thought in my head hurts. It is also a memory, though, because we ended the season undefeated and knowing in each player and the community hearts that this was our year to win. It is hard for me to say that I was never able to finish my last sport of the year, softball. I have been taught many things throughout the years. Not only did I gain new skills, but friends that I will have for a long time. Sports will forever be something held in Brookfield's heart. I hope I can come back in the future to watch teams be stronger than they are right now. To future generations, please play sports. It is one of the best experiences in high school. Although you may not feel you are good at playing, it is the learning experience, and you make a lot of friends. The skills you learn you can take further into life, which makes it more than just playing a sport. To be a part of a winning team is an amazing feeling, and you will get better as time goes on. To the class of 2020, thank you for growing up with me and being my best friends. I'd like to share a memory about each of you. I'm going to start with Cheyenne because her being Vale means that she has to be on the top of the list. Cheyenne, you are probably one of the most country girls I know, but one thing I remember most is us working together on literally every single project or assignment we had. I will never forget you and your brother fighting in the halls and then 2 minutes later making up and being best friends again. Natalie, you are one kind person that everyone loves because you can do no harm to the world. You were always down to go spend money and leave study hall early to get Den, Subway, or Dunkin'. We never got the chance to go on an ice cream run this year during school, but we'll have to go on a few before we head to college. Jenna, the one who always says I stole her name. You were born first, but I still get called Jenna and you get stuck with Jenna H. Keep on living your dream with horses and maybe I'll finally learn to ride the right way one of these days. Thank you for being one of my best friends and always agreeing to go to the den with me. I hope we can keep in touch through the college and the rest of our lives. Maddie, you have been one of my best friends since the beginning. I cannot wait to see what you achieve in the future. One thing no one will ever forget about you is your unique laugh. You always had some of the best birthday parties as kids, especially the ones where we went sledding and somehow managed not to break ourselves. Marissa, you were always the first person to fall asleep in the middle of class. You somehow managed to never get yelled at, though. Every basketball season, it was your tradition to say that you were going to slash someone's tires because they didn't make a free throw. I'll never forget riding four-wheeler for hours on end, and then we got yelled at because we destroyed a hayfield. Caleb, I don't understand how, but I'm pretty sure you set a record for having the most cars in high school. Definitely should have stuck with the Audi, though. Brooke, I am so glad you're going to be a cosmetologist. I know who to find when I have a hair crisis that needs to be fixed. Alex, you were always a twin everyone knew to wear makeup. I remember you always saying you want more and more dogs. I have a feeling you are going to have like 10 dogs at once sometime in your life. Max, my favorite memory of you was when you walked into the first grade classroom as Santa. We were all so confused, but you were tall enough that you actually looked like him. Cody, I'll always feel bad for you because of your allergies. Everyone always forgets you would be stuck with just a bottle of Mountain Dew or something. Hopefully the allergies will go away and you can actually have some good food. Brian, you always tried to get people to ride snowmobile to school with you, but ended up being the only one. You also made your sister pay for rides to school, and you shouldn't have done that because riding a bus sucks. She probably would have given you a ride whenever you wanted, just so you know. Jess, you came to Brookfield late, but it was so nice for you to join us. You have such an eye for art and music, and I cannot wait to see what you do in the future. Good luck with everything. Austin, a funny memory of us that we had of you was you yelled out in the middle of Mrs. Aya's class that Natalie was petty. Everyone was so confused, but it turned out to be a good laugh to remember forever. Sam, you were someone that always pushed to be the best you can be. You started playing sports when you came to Brookfield, not really knowing much about any of them. Now that it is your senior year, you have learned a lot and have improved faster than many people could. Jonah, you are definitely a fighter and one of the strongest people I know. No one will ever forget the day you scared all of us to go to the hospital and found a tumor. It showed everyone how strong you were by bouncing back and being in school like only 3 weeks later. Ivy, you have always had so much care for animals, whether they are house pets or not. I can't wait to see you further your career with them. You have a great idea in life to help them, and I hope everything works out for you. I will always remember you selling cheese, and Girl Scout cookies to every teacher. Last but not least, Kayla. You are one of the sassiest but funniest people I know. I will never forget so many good talks in Mrs. Phillips that should never be repeated. She would never admit it, but we were definitely her favorite class to be in there all the time. I would like to give a few special thank yous to my family. Thank you to my parents for always being there. Every single event. Between sports games and academic ceremonies. Thank you for the rides to games and practices, and most importantly, thank you for all the endless love and support. I am so grateful for both of you and would not be where I am today without you. I love you guys. To Colin and Corey, thank you for all the love and support and all the fun times as kids. I can't wait to make so many more memories and celebrate all of our accomplishments together. To Bethany and Brinley, you two have been like little sisters that I never had. I cannot wait to watch you grow up and be the amazing people I know you will be. To my grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins, thank you for the endless support throughout my whole life. I appreciate everything each and every one of you has done for me. I could not have done it without all of you being here. To my teachers and coaches, thank you for always pushing me to do my best and never giving up on me in my worst times. I've learned so many new life lessons and skills from you. And to the class of 2020, you have already shown your strength. We know there are many obstacles in life, and we can get past anything. I can't wait to see everything all of you will accomplish in life. Keep in touch. I will for sure miss all of you.
I am honored to be this year's class of 2020 valedictorian and to finally be able to say that we made it. Dr. Seuss once said, "You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose." However, during these difficult times, we know where we want to go, but we do not know when we'll be able to. Our entire world has been flipped upside down. We didn't get a last day of school, our last prom, or our senior trip, where most of us would realize how much we were going to miss seeing each other every day. Many of us did not get to play our last softball or baseball games, or even get to walk the halls with our siblings for one last time. Everything is different for us now. As I'm standing here, not being able to see most of my family smiling, and probably making fun of me, mainly Joey, it made me realize that we have overcome many challenges at such a young age. We came into this world right after there was a huge crisis, and now we're heading into adulthood with another. Although this crisis is a little bit different, it has still affected the world in an extreme way. Instead of discussing the hard times we've faced, I want to talk about some of the good memories that us seniors have had throughout the years. One of the first things I can remember about school is making green eggs and ham in first grade with Mrs. Green and realizing that it actually looks pretty disgusting. Dr. Seuss did an amazing job at making it sound appetizing to all of us before we saw what it actually looked like. I don't remember much from second grade, besides that being the last year Colt and I spent together in class. I recently found out that after I realized Colt and I would be separated, I tried to fail so we could be in class together. Another memory I can remember is from second grade when we went on an end-of-the-year trip to the Rosamond Gifford Zoo and celebrated a friend's birthday. And since we were only 7, birthday parties and zoos were a very big thing. Third grade was where all the good memories began, and not just because Mr. Pravis gave us candy, if we were good and did our work on time. He allowed us to make creative videos, included live animals in our learning activities, and even told us at the end of the year what candy we were reminded of. I still don't know how to this day why I was given the Lifesaver candy. The next few years after that are kind of a blur until 7th grade. That was the year that I realized how scary and petrifying some of the teachers could be, especially Mr. Snyder. But as long as you don't talk over him and do what he says, everything will be okay. The first day of 7th grade for us was also Mrs. Zayer's first year at Brookfield, and I'm so disappointed that she could not be here today to see me get my diploma. Mrs. Zayer has pushed me to do things I never thought I would do, and actually pushed me to do the musical the past few years, along with Mrs. Dreyer, because they knew that once I started it, that I would enjoy it. Mrs. Zayer has always been there for me and the seniors, and never looked at me differently or judged me for anything I did. I'm going to miss her so much next year, but I will definitely be back to visit. Always remember, Zayer, that you're beautiful and I love you. Thank you for everything. High school was nothing like I thought it was, because I thought that everything would go smoothly, but that was not the case. There were many difficult times that the class faced, but overall we found ways to have fun, whether it was spraying water in each other's faces or trying to recreate videos we saw online, mainly TikToks. There were always moments that someone in the class could make us laugh, which most of the time was Jonah with his unbelievable amount of sarcasm. Most of the time, the majority of the seniors could be found in either Mr. Reader's or Ms. Zayer's rooms, because we all knew that no matter how mad we made them, they were always there for us. Over the past few years, not only have I grown closer with teachers, but I've grown closer with classmates who I grew apart from. Jenna B. and I were really good friends when we were younger and distanced ourselves. But throughout the past few years, we have regained our friendship, and now I don't know what I'd do without her. Not only is she extremely smart, but she's also extremely athletic, as all of you know, and she is one of the hardest working people that I've met. Jenna, I know that you do great things at Nazareth, but I will miss talking to you about schoolwork and everything else. Just know if you need anything, just call. Everyone throughout the class should know that no matter what happens and no matter how many years pass, that I'll always be here. If there's one thing I learned from this pandemic, is that the amount of time you spend with someone should never be limited, especially people you've grown up with. As I wrap up my speech, I want to say thank you to some of the most amazing people I know. First, I want to say thank you to my parents for always being there for me, whether it was me calling them crying that musical was canceled, or just say hi and see how the day was going. Thank you for always pushing me to do my best and not be worried about what other people think, and that it's okay to be different. There's a lot more I could say, but you guys already know that you mean the world to me. To my twin. I cannot believe that when I walk in the stage and getting our diplomas together, but mainly I cannot believe that we'll not be walking the same halls anymore. For as long as I can remember, everything I wanted to do was to protect you and make sure no one hurt you. But now I'll be an hour and a half away from someone I've shared my entire life with. Just know that I'll always come back and that I love you more than you know. To all my other family, you guys are the best support system I've ever had. Between the gifts I've received and all the kind words, I know that I'm the woman I am today because of all of you. Thank you for everything. Lord. To my amazing teachers, thank you for everything the past 13 years. Mr. Snyder, thank you for keeping me in line, but also worrying about me after my concussion. I'm sorry I'll not be there next year to save you from Colt. Mrs. Zaya, I already said how much I appreciate you, but you deserve to know that without you, school would not have been the same. I can't count how many hours I've ranted to you about everything, and you were always there for me. Mr. Reader, thank you for practically being my therapist the past 2 years, because you believed you knew how to read people. It is going to be weird next year not having you yell at me for standing on stools, drinking Red Bulls, or having you making fun of me for being so clumsy. And to all the other teachers, especially Mrs. Gates and Miss Phillips, there are not enough words that describe how grateful I am for all of you. Hang on. To my best friend, Lexi. Thank you for coming into my life and becoming a sister of mine. I'm going to miss you the most next year, but don't worry, I'll be back to help you pick on Mr. Reader and other teachers, along with Cole. I hope you always remember that we may not see each other every day, and I might not be down the hall, but I'm always a phone call away. To incoming students and seniors, make sure you appreciate the time you have left with your fellow classmates, even if you don't get along with everyone. Solve your issues and work it out. At the end of the day, this pandemic is what made us closer, even if it doesn't seem like it. On behalf of the class of 2020, Kayla Owen and Jenna Head will introduce the speakers we have chosen for our graduation.
Our first guest speaker is Mr. Rio. The class of 2020 would like to give a huge thank you for all your sports in 7th grade. He was always that one teacher you can go and talk to about more than just school. If you're anything like me and just tend not to do something if it's not in your best interest or do it last minute, such as your schoolwork, because you have zero to no interest in it, so then you just find yourself zoning out in the middle of class. I'll speak for myself on this one, but I'm sure at least some of my classmates can agree with me that Mr. Rio knew how to change that. Whether it was sports, making stories, doing a slideshow on your favorite things, or even playing basketball. I will always remember one time he made us watch this movie, and I can swear it was like a generic Star Wars movie. If I remembered the name of it, I would tell you to just give you a heads up and stick with the real movie. The second day into watching it, I made it clear to him that it wasn't my favorite, so he thought it would be funny to try and prank me. I ended up falling asleep to the end of it and waking up to no one in the classroom. Little did I know, he had everyone go in the hallway until the bell rang, so I woke up thinking everyone went home. So thank you for the laugh. As I wrap this up, again, I would like to say this class is beyond thankful for all the memories and everything you have done for us throughout the years, and we wish you the best in the future.
First, let me thank the class of 2020 for inviting me to speak at graduation. While I wish we could be doing this in person, we did have 5 whole school years together. That's 900 days if my math is correct. Thank you also to Mr. Plows, Ms. Smith, the Board of Education, and all the teachers and staff at Brookfield Central School. And to the parents, I hope you are all proud of the hard work you've done to help your kids reach this important milestone. This is a remarkable group of students, and it is an honor for me to be back here doing this at a place where, like the graduates, I did a lot of learning and growing up. It was only a year ago that I left BCS, but in that short time, things have changed in ways none of us could have imagined. The pandemic has altered or outright canceled many of your plans for this final year at BCS. I won't sugarcoat it, not having prom and a senior trip. It really stinks. I feel badly about that, yet I'm here today with a message of hope and optimism because that's what teachers do. People often say that hindsight is 20/20, that when you look back at a given event or situation, you can see clearly how you might have changed things. But I don't like the idea of looking back with regret. Instead, let's look back and recall the fond memories, the lessons learned from the inevitable mistakes, and the people who have influenced our lives in positive ways. For example, I think about Mr. Greer and Mrs. Ward, two of my high school teachers who pushed me to try harder, to be better. I thought of them often as I was going back to school to become a teacher. This is not to say that you will become an accountant because of Mrs. Roberts or Mrs. Gates, or a politician because of Mrs. Zaya, or a daredevil stunt person because of Mr. Sertoli. You might not become a computer guru because of Miss Peavy, or even a hot sauce aficionado like Mr. Morial. Is it in your future to become a scientist because of all you learned in Mr. Reader and Mr. Snyder's classes? Maybe. Will you become a world-famous author because of me or Miss Tessitore? I can only hope. Whatever you do become, I bet you will think of your teachers often as you begin to write the next chapters of your life. Before looking too far ahead, though, let's take a moment to look back. There's a Natasha Bedingfield song that says, "Today is where your book begins." But in reality, your book began 18 years ago with the most important chapters, the ones that have helped set you up for future happiness and success. Let's start with 7th grade. One thing comes to mind when I think back to meeting you as little 7th graders. Wow, are there really this many twins? We've got Brooke and Alex, Maddie, Marissa, Natalie and Jenna, Cody and Caleb, Ryan and his dirt bike. Okay, maybe not twins so much as inseparable pairs. My memory of that moving up day is fuzzy, but it was probably like all the others. He didn't say much, and you were probably a little intimidated by us scary high school teachers. But that day for us is like getting this mystery present. You want to look at it closely, shake it around to find out what's inside. But we all knew it would take a little while to figure out what we really got. Well, your class turned out to be an interesting gift to say the least. I think all of the teachers who work with you would agree that you are a special collection of people who we met as little kids and have now become young adults. You're all probably thinking how quickly that time flew by. And the reality of life is everything ends. This can be good and bad. Think about a terribly boring class where you're watching the minute hand and it seems to be going backwards. Perhaps it was even English class, right, Kayla? Well, that class ended eventually. Cheyenne, you were kind enough to get me a Mookie Betts Red Sox t-shirt as a parting gift last year. Guess what? He was traded, and his time with the Red Sox ended too early in my opinion, so I'll keep wearing the shirt. Your latest chapter may read a little differently than your classmates, but it ends in the same place for everyone, right here in Brookfield. Most of your stories began here too. There have been other interesting chapters for sure. For example, you can think about the best vacation you ever went on. It was fun and relaxing while you were there. It's only when you get home that you realize how cool and special it really was. Famous country singer Patsy Cline said, "You don't appreciate home until you leave it." This is a special place, but you won't really get that until you leave. You can trust me on that. Brookfield will always be home for you. And you will come to really understand what that means down the road with time to look back and reflect. We as teachers try to tell you this stuff all the time. We probably sound like that old guy in the lawn chair admonishing the whippersnappers to get off his lawn, but it comes from a good place, a caring place. So going back to the song I mentioned before, after the part about where your book begins, it says, "The rest is still unwritten." In other words, You are in charge of writing the next chapter, and the ones after that. You already started the process by making important decisions about what to do after graduation. This is your outline, so to speak, and if those plans are in limbo because of coronavirus, don't worry. Things have a way of working out. Go back and reread those previous chapters, the ones with all the guidance from teachers, the obstacles you've overcome, the experiments with newfound independence. You have a strong foundation. You didn't take the easy way out like the two lazy little pigs in the kids' story. You may have been tempted by the straw and sticks, and if that was the case, someone stepped in and stopped you, likely your parents, or Mrs. Phillips, Mr. Snyder maybe. And in the end, you built with bricks because that was the right thing to do. Today, in terms of your story, the rest is still unwritten. That idea may seem daunting to you, but it should be exciting too. There are circumstances you can't control, but you are in charge of how to react. We talked about that idea in English often, right, Jonah? How people respond to conflicts reveals their character, what kind of person they really are, whether that was Salva in the desert or Atticus in the courtroom. If you can adapt and respond to a global pandemic during your senior year, think about all the other challenges you can overcome. And the challenges are coming, because we all know there are no great stories without problems. Now, for all of you, Jenna B., Max, Ivy, Jessica, Jenna H., Natalie, Sam, Alex and Brooke, Cody, Maddie and Marissa, Austin, Cheyenne, Kayla, Ryan, Jonah, and Caleb, Brookfield Central School's class of 2020, it's time to turn the page and keep on writing your story. So go out there and do it, and it better be worth reading. I miss you all and wish you nothing but the best, because you deserve it. Thank you.
The next guest speaker I would like to introduce is Miss Roberts. On behalf of the entire class of 2020, we would like to thank Miss Roberts for her endless care and support. She has never failed to bring a smile to our faces and has always been there when we need a laugh, or a Band-Aid. She has made a lasting impact on each and every one of us, and for that, we cannot thank her enough.
Class of 2020, I would like to start by saying, why did you pick me to speak at graduation? Just kidding. I'll start by saying congratulations. I'm honored that you asked me to speak. I struggled to find the words for this speech, and I think it's because I have had no great epiphanies or magic words of wisdom to share with you. I'm much more comfortable discussing crazy math topics than I am trying to find the right words of encouragement and motivation for you as you move forward in your lives. Since I know about teaching and learning, I'd like to share 3 important lessons that I've learned over the last few months. Human connections and interactions play a vital role, not only in education, but in our everyday lives. The people in our lives, good, bad, and ugly, are precious and need to be cherished. That being said, you are each special individuals that together make up a pretty amazing group of people. It has been an honor to watch you grow, and most of you to mature, over the last several years. Don't take the people in your life for granted. Number 2, the world needs more love and kindness. As a group, you have come together for a common cause several times over the years. Whether it was to support each other in sports or musicals, to help someone in their time of need, or to organize a senior auction. Don't forget the power of teamwork, and don't lose the compassion you have for others. It can change the world. Go into the world and let your light shine bright. The third and perhaps the most valuable lesson we can learn from this unusual time is that we cannot control all things in our lives. Sometimes you need to defy the rules of math and change negatives into positives. I believe there is something positive to come out of every situation, even though it's not always easy to see what that is at the time you're going through something. For many of you, I know not having a traditional graduation has been difficult to accept. Remember, just as a marriage is not about the wedding itself, graduation is not just about the ceremony. It is so much more than that. It's a time to celebrate your accomplishments and achievements. You should all be so proud of what you have done to get here today. It's a time to reflect on the memories and friendships you have made. It's a time to recognize that what you have learned over the last 13 and 14 years of school is so much more than what happened inside individual classrooms. It's a time of mixed emotions about leaving behind BCS and your wonderful teachers and moving on to what will come next in your lives. It's a time to encourage and support one another as you choose those different life paths. It's a time to feel the love and support from each other, your teachers, your families, and all of the Brookfield community. If you don't remember a single math lesson I taught, please always remember that I care about each and every one of you. You are my school kids, and I will always think of you as mine. Each of you holds a special place in my heart, and I wish nothing but the best for you each day. I'm proud of the work you have done, and it has been an honor to watch you grow. Please stay in touch as you go into the world, and try your best to always look for the positives and ignore the negatives. You never liked them anyways. Best of luck, and congratulations.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak. The only thing I wanted to convey was I wanted to thank all of our teachers and our staff through this very difficult time. I can't imagine how you've done it. I can't imagine how you've done it all these years. But all of a sudden in March, you close the school and try to educate the kids online. I just wanted to convey to you from the school board, thank you very much for all that you've done and all that you do. Thank you.
At this time, we will acknowledge the Class of 2020 award recipients. Jenna Bugby, Salutatorian of the Class of 2020, is a recipient of a National Honor Society Award to the Salutatorian, an Optimist Club Award, the Faculty Scholarship Award in memory of Noreen Allen, the Sertoli Elevation for Education Award to a senior who views education as a lifelong process, keeps learning, and keeps climbing. The scholarship is awarded to a hardworking, well-rounded student pursuing a degree in STEM or healthcare-related field. The Stephanie Rose Campbell Memorial Award given to a senior planning to major in environmental science or a related field. A Memorial Scholarship Award in memory of James Plows Sr. An award in memory of Gerald Wolf given by the North Brookfield Fire Department. The Sharon Bugby Simmons Award, given in memory of Sharon Bugby Simmons to a senior that exemplifies a true dedication to family, a strong sense of community service, perseverance over obstacles and hardships, optimism, and compassion for others. The Darrell C. Case Memorial Award is presented to a student who has actively participated in sports and who's going to advance their education through college. The President's Award for Academic Excellence in recognition of outstanding academic achievement, and the Class of 2020 Award for Academic Excellence. Maxwell Elliott is a recipient of an Optimist Club Award, the award given in memory of Richard Curtis by his wife Frida Curtis and family. The Oriskany Falls Rotary Citizenship Award, given to a deserving student who has exemplified a positive, respectable attitude toward others, bettering and giving to their community in service above self, and possessing a strength of character in all they do. An award given in memory of John D. Green Sr., and the Class of 2020 Award for Excellence in Carpentry. Congratulations. Ivy Ferguson is a recipient of the Oriskany Falls Rotary Citizenship Award, given to a deserving student who has exemplified a positive, respectable attitude toward others, bettering and giving to their community in service above self, and possessing a strength of character in all they do. An award in memory of George Johnson, a longtime Brookfield Fire Department firefighter, officer, and commissioner, given to a senior showing greatest interest in the Brookfield Fire Department. The Brookfield Firemen's Auxiliary Award, given in memory of Loretta Witter, to a senior who is involved with service to the community. An award given in memory of Donald Keith, who had a passion for history, education, and in the 1930s aspired to become a veterinarian. An Optimist Club Award. An American Citizenship Award given by the National Association of Elementary and Secondary School Principals. The Attorney General Andrew Cuomo CCC Award, recognizing character, courage, and commitment. The Irene J. Donovan Memorial Award, given in memory of Miss Donovan's mother, who taught her family to appreciate and value the uniqueness of each individual. A Memorial Award in memory of David Case, to a senior who has persevered throughout high school and is going on to higher education. The Elizabeth K.D. Stanton Award, awarded to a female student who most models female independence and competence. And the Class of 2020 Award for Excellence in Community Service. Jenna Head is a recipient of the Sertoli Elevation for Education Award, to a senior who views education as a lifelong process, keeps learning, and keeps climbing. The scholarship is awarded to a hardworking, well-rounded student pursuing a degree in a STEM or healthcare-related field. An Optimist Club Award, and the Class of 2020 Award for Excellence in Equine Care. Natalie Head is a recipient of the Sertoli Elevation for Education Award, to a senior who views education as a lifelong process, keeps learning, and keeps climbing. The scholarship is awarded to a hardworking, well-rounded student pursuing a degree in STEM or healthcare-related field. An Optimist Club Award. An award in memory of Llewellyn P. Owens, to the senior with the third highest average. The Ruth C. Jennings Memorial Award, to a senior pursuing a career in nursing or a medical field. And the Class of 2020 Award for Excellence in Equine Care. Samantha Yeager is a recipient of the Larkin Award for Excellence in Science in memory of Leroy and Lisa Larkin, given by Mr. Fred Larkin. An award in memory of Michael A. Mitchell, to a deserving senior who is entering the military or the field of astronomy. The Lynn C. Jennings Memorial Award, to a senior excelling in mathematics. A Memorial Scholarship Award in memory of James Plows Sr., an Optimist Club Award, a New York State Comptroller Achievement Award to a student. I'll do that one over. A New York State Comptroller Achievement Award to a student who has shown academic excellence and potential for leadership through involvement in activities that improve the school and/or community. An American Citizenship Award given by the National Association of Elementary and Secondary School Principals. The Attorney General Andrew Cuomo CCC Award, recognizing character, courage, and commitment. And the Class of 2020 Compassion for Others Award. Alexandria King is a recipient of an award given in memory of Caroline Keith, who was adamant about education, greatly prized public education, and the SUNY college system. She was a violinist and taught music at BCS, where she encouraged students' involvement in not only music, but to travel and to learn about other cultures. An Optimist Club Award. An award in memory of Arthur Madison Phillips, given by the Phillips family to a senior who most embodies the following quote: "Kindness is to do and say the nicest things in the nicest ways." And the Class of 2020 Compassion for Others Award. Brooklyn King is a recipient of an Optimist Club Award, an award in memory of Arthur Madison Phillips, given by the Phillips family to a senior who most embodies the following quote: "Kindness is to do and say the nicest things in the nicest ways." An award for the highest average in a business 5-year sequence. The Ida T. Brooks Memorial Award in memory of Ida T. Brooks, who was a devoted teacher and taught 5th grade at BCS for 28 years. She loved being a teacher and enjoyed helping everyone she met. This award is given to a senior who is pursuing a career in the technical or business field. An award in memory of Doug and Terry Woosley, given by the family and friends to a student pursuing a vocational career. And the Class of 2020 Award for Excellence in Cosmetology. Cody King is a recipient of an Optimist Club Award and the Class of 2020 Award for Athletic Excellence. Madeline Kupris is a recipient of an Optimist Club Award, the Brookfield Firemen's Auxiliary Award given in memory of Dee Davis to the most all-around senior selected by the seniors. An award in memory of H. Cheryl Palmer, who served on the Brookfield School Board of Education for 51 years and was president of the board for 49 years, to the senior who has displayed strong school spirit and willingness to help others in school and community, given by his daughter, Carol Lewis, and the Class of 2020 Award for Athletic Excellence. Marissa Kupris is a recipient of an Optimist Club Award, the Brookfield Fire Department Award to the senior with the 4th highest average, an award given in memory of Anita Rogers Burgess by the Brookfield Fire Department Auxiliary for creativity and writing, the Noreen E. Allen Make a Difference Award, awarded to a senior who exemplifies the principles and values of the Make a Difference theme. Those principles are: be honest, demonstrate integrity, keep promises, be loyal, be responsible, pursue excellence, be kind and caring, treat all people with respect, be fair, and be a good citizen. And the Class of 2020 Award for Excellence in Criminal Justice. Austin Lehman is a recipient of an Optimist Club Award, a Memorial Scholarship Award in memory of James Plow Sr., the Bill Jennison Memorial Award, the Science Achievement Award in memory of E. Leroy and Lisa Larkin, given by Mr. and Mrs. Donald Larkin. The John Grantier Memorial Scholarship, awarded to a college-bound senior demonstrating high academic achievement and potential, and the Class of 2020 Award for Compassion Toward Others. Cheyenne Morgan, the valedictorian of the Class of 2020, is a recipient of a National Honor Society Award to the valedictorian, the Glenn E. Kelly Memorial Award given to Glenn's memory by Ken and Judy Manor and Wendy Stillman to the graduate who lives each moment to the fullest. An award in memory of Sandy Elliott, former Brookfield Fire Company's Lady Auxiliary, given to a senior with a zest for life. The Elizabeth Avery Memorial Award given to the student who is most deserving of assistance to attend college of their choice. The American Legion Award for courage, honor, leadership, patriotism, scholarship, and service. A New York Central Mutual Insurance Company Award. Memorial Award in memory of David Case to a senior who has persevered throughout high school and is going on to higher education. The Pearl Merrill Memorial Award to the senior who has shown the most interest in the Madison County Fair, given by the Madison County Fair Association. An Optimist Club Spotlight Award. The Brookfield Historical Society Scholarship given to the college-bound senior with the highest average in history over a 4-year period. The New York State Comptroller Achievement Award to the student who has shown academic excellence and potential for leadership through involvement in activities that improve the school and/or community. The President's Award for Academic Excellence in recognition of outstanding academic achievement. The New York State Education Department Academic Excellence Award, and the Class of 2020 Award for Academic Excellence. Layla Morris is a recipient of an Optimist Club Spotlight Award. Kayla Owen is a recipient of an Optimist Club Award, an award in memory of David Case to a senior who has persevered throughout high school and is going on to higher education. The President's Award for Educational Achievement in recognition of academic effort to learn, to improve, and to overcome challenging obstacles, and the Class of 2020 Award for Outstanding Personality. Jonah Rogers is a recipient of an Optimist Club Award, the David W. Felton Community Memorial Hospital Prize, given by the Community Memorial Hospital Board of Directors to recognize President and CEO David Felton and his more than 25 years of leadership and commitment to education, to a senior with plans to pursue either academically or professionally an interest in the healthcare fields. An award in memory of Marian Abrams to a senior going into the field of human services. An award in memory of David L. Crandall, given by his family and friends to a college-bound senior, an all-around student who is hardworking, creative, responsible, and kind. The Ida Mae Abrams Memorial Award in memory of Ida Abrams, who lovingly and devotedly served the Brookfield Central School as its registered nurse. Ida's outstanding, cheerful, and compassionate manner was a positive example for others as she cared for staff and students alike throughout her more than 20 years at BCS. This award is given to a senior entering the nursing or medical field and who also embodies IDA's passion to care for others. The Thomas W. Donovan Memorial Award is given in memory of Miss Donovan's father, who taught his family to work hard and to be dedicated to excellence in all endeavors. The New York State Education Department Academic Excellence Award, and the Class of 2020 Award for Courage. Caleb Warden is the recipient of an Optimist Club Award and the Class of 2020 Award for Outdoorsmanship. At this time, the Class of 2020 will be presented with their diplomas. Mr. Whitaker, I certify that the members of the Class of 2020 who are to receive their diplomas have met the requirements for both Brookfield Central School and the state of New York. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to present to you the graduates of the Class of 2020. Graduates, you may now turn your tassels from right to left. At this time, Sarah Breen will lead us in the alma mater.
Just beneath the sheltering shadows of our Beaver Hill nestles our dear alma mater, peaceful and so still. Shout her praises, let them echo over hill and field. Hail, all hail, dear alma mater, hail to thee, Brookfield.
Thank you, Sarah. Natalie Head will now express her thanks on behalf of the Class of 2020.
On behalf of the class of 2020, we would like to thank you all for joining. Today, as we are saddened to say our final goodbyes to high school, we are more than excited to say hello to our new beginnings. We would all like to thank our family and close friends for supplying us with endless love and support. None of this would have been possible without any of you. We would also like to thank our many teachers who have not just put up with us, but have been the kind-hearted people that we could share our excitement, goals, and achievements with. Over the years, you have all become more than just teachers. You have become a second family, and even some could say that your classrooms became our home away from home. You will all be greatly missed, and we promise to always visit, because let's face it, you can't get rid of us that easily. We would like to thank the many coaches that have helped to push us not only on the field and court, but academically as well. Finally, we would like to thank Mrs. Gates for taking out our class by being our advisor and turning all our crazy ideas into actual fundraising events, settling our disagreements and our usually pointless arguments. We know we were not necessarily the easiest bunch to handle, but somehow you managed. Thank you, everyone. We could not have done this without you.
Please welcome back Mrs. Gates as she delivers the farewell for the class of 2020.
The class of 2020 has been dealt a hand that no high school senior class should have been given. To have the best part of your senior year stripped away, prom, senior trip, goodbyes to friends and teachers, spring sports, is something that can never be replaced. Not being able to spend the last few months with friends that you've grown up with your whole lives is disheartening. It is also painful to not be together as a group one last time. Although we are having graduation, your parents had one of their proudest moments altered because of the situation. There are many negative things that have come from this experience, but I hope you remember some of the positive ones. You've had 3 months of not going to school every day, the longest senior skip day ever. I know you all have taken advantage of sleeping in every morning, except maybe Caleb and Cody because they were fishing. Of course, one of the best things about getting the convocation was we were going to have a celebrity speaker like Ted Nugent. Oh, that's right, he was busy hunting. I hope you've enjoyed all the time spent with family, friends, in the barn, with your pets, or just enjoying some downtime before college or work during this quarantine. This experience will help you grow as a person and learn that life is ever-changing. And as an adult, you have to learn to adapt to any situation. I can tell you that this senior class will never be forgotten by the faculty and staff at Brookfield Central School. So it is with a sad heart that I say goodbye to all of you as you make your mark in the world, wherever that may be. The world will forever remember the class of 2020.
Thank you, Mrs. Gates, for your parting remarks. As the class of 2020 prepares to end this chapter of their lives, I would like to say all of us at BCS are proud of your accomplishments thus far and are excited to hear about all the wonderful accomplishments you have yet to fulfill. We will miss you and hope that you remain in touch with us. Congratulations and best wishes, class of 2020. No one could have predicted that your senior year would be faced with the challenges you have endured over the last few months. Each and every one of you should be commended on how you have handled these challenges and in many cases have excelled in spite of them. Meeting most of you for the first time as 7th graders, I would have expected to encounter scared or at least apprehensive students, unsure of the unknown that awaited you upstairs. I witnessed quite the opposite. I saw a group of young men and women ready to face the unknown with a confidence that spoke volumes of who you are as a class and as individuals. It has been a true pleasure watching you grow into caring, creative, confident, and strong individuals ready to take on the world. The possibilities before you are limitless, and I encourage you to take these wonderful attributes to the next step in your lives. Best of luck, class of 2020.
Hello, class of 2020. It's Mr. Moriel. I wanted to congratulate you on your graduation and wish you the best of luck going forward. I know this year didn't end the way that you expected it to, and believe me, this has been crazy for all of us, but that definitely doesn't negate the 11 and a half years, if you want to say that you worked your butts off to get to this point, and it certainly doesn't diminish your accomplishment. I am so excited to see what all of you do going forward. I know you're all going to be great in whatever you do, whether you're going into the workforce, you're going into college, anything. You're all just going to be awesome. I know it's a little different because I never had you in class. And I really wish I did, because whether I had you in study hall or just talked to you in the hallways in passing, or if you popped into my room, I really feel like even just through that, we built a great relationship, and I could only imagine what it would have been like if I was able to have you in class and actually, have the opportunity to teach you. A couple special shout outs. I want to give a heads up to Shy and the King girls for constantly popping in and talking to me about Marvel. I always appreciate that. It's always good to bond with fellow nerds. And a special shout out to Jonah for coming into my class basically every day, 7th and 8th period. I know Mrs. Gates probably didn't like that as much as I did, but things will be very different next year, not having you popping in every day. So I just want to wish all of you the best of luck. I truly hope you keep in touch with me going forward, and if you ever need anything, please don't hesitate to ask. Congratulations, class of 2020.
This year has been a little unorthodox, to say the least. However, your resilience and hard work has not gone unnoticed. I admire each of your strength and perseverance during an uncertain time. Each of you has endured multiple hurdles at your young age, but I applaud you for never letting them hold you back. As you enter the world in the various directions you will go, I want to give you some words of advice. I will begin with a quote from Dr. Seuss. Today, you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. Each of you have extraordinary talents and skills that you are bringing to the world. Remember never to refrain from being yourself. What you have to offer to the world is much more than you might realize. Always remember who you are and where you come from. Whenever a challenge presents itself, take it in stride, knowing you have the strength and resilience to overcome any obstacle. So to the class of 2020, congratulations and good luck in your future endeavors. You will be missed within the school building, but we are comforted knowing that you are making the world a better place because of who you are. Remember, you are the youest you, and that is an extraordinary thing.
Good morning and congratulations to the class of 2020. As I look back at our times together, I remember just like yesterday, as Mrs. Thal, Mrs. Shipman, and myself welcomed you into our building at the ages of 3 and 4. Looking back, we had about 20 or so students. We learned routine and practiced sharing. Fast forward a few years, and dun dun dun, we meet again for 5th and 6th grades. Of course, we worked on harder tasks and more academics, yet we still practiced being kind and learned more about sharing, as we sure had some good laughs. Please know it has been such a pleasure being able to help you learn at various stages. You are all growing up and ready for your next milestone. Please remember who you are and what you stand for. Make mistakes and learn from them. Live life and always remember to be kind. Please note, I will miss seeing your faces around the halls of BCS. It has been such an honor spending time with you over the years, giving me the title of being your teacher. Good luck, and I look forward to hearing all of your updates in the future.
In the words of Oprah Winfrey, I know you may not feel like it, but you are indeed the chosen class for such a time as this, the class of 2020. You're also a united class, the pandemic class, that has the entire world striving to graduate with you. Never has a graduating class been called to step into the future with more purpose, vision, passion, energy, and hope. You have the unique opportunity to turn a bad situation into a time of growth and rebirth. My advice to you is to use every obstacle in your path as a springboard to success. Just remember, if you can find a path with no obstacles, it probably doesn't lead anywhere. So I leave you with this: be bold, be courageous, and if opportunity doesn't knock, build yourself a door.
Congratulations, seniors! As your previous kindergarten teacher and 6th grade teacher too, I'm so proud of each and every one of you. I know you'll make a difference in this world. In 2007, you entered kindergarten as a class of 25 students. You were famous in our little world. You made the papers, and reporters even came and interviewed you. What a year that was. What I want to say to you is, be sure to learn some and think, draw and paint and sing, dance and play, and work every day some, as Robert Fulham said. Make sure you don't spend all your time on your work, but enjoy life as well. The list goes on, but just so you know, you are ready for the world around you, so go make your life count. Congratulations.
Congratulations, seniors. You are graduating during one of the most eventful years in our country's history. You are going to be a part of the positive changes that are happening in our world. As you start your new chapter, I will give you 4 words of advice. Work hard, be kind. If you can remember to do that, you will be successful in whatever you choose to do. You are such a fun group to have in the classroom. It was a pleasure to watch you grow up at Brookfield. So get out there and take care of business. And always remember, go Beavers!
A message to the class from Miss Howlett. To the class of 2020, watching you grow and mature as I taught you from kindergarten to 12th grade has been a privilege. I join the Brookfield community and faculty in applauding your academic and athletic championships. May your futures be even brighter. My best to you all. A message to the class from Mr. Reader. I could say something nice and sappy for each one of you, but that would take way too long. So what I'm going to say is how much I miss all of you and all of the smart remarks that came with your classes and your visits. I'm sorry that we all can't be there to watch you receive your diplomas, but remember that we're all thinking of you and supporting you. Congratulations to each one of you. Stay in touch. A message to the class of 2020 from Mrs. Elliott. Congratulations to the class of 2020. You were renowned as you entered school due to all of the twins in your class. I remember reading about this special group in the Waterville Times. It was so extraordinary to have that happen in our little town. It has been so fun to get to know each of you. You are now leaving BCS like no other class. Your story is part of history. As primary sources, how you coped with this iconic pandemic will want to be heard by others over and over. You are all amazing, resilient individuals. You have certainly proven that over the last few months. One thing that I've always admired over the years is how close Brookfield graduates remain. I'm sure the same will hold true for your tight-knit group as well. I predict you will be together again many times over the years, laughing and sharing stories through get-togethers and reunions. Congratulations, you worked hard to get here. I wish you all the very best. What a year. I can't believe the year ended the way it did. The year that we did have in person was great. I thoroughly enjoyed our time together. It seems as though every year the seniors and I create such a bond, and every year at this time, the memories start pouring in. Some I'd like to share were not only from this year, but from many years we've spent together. I guess the first one I have is from Jonah and Caleb and their excellent sewing skills from 7th grade in Home and Careers. Let's just say it didn't go too well for them. Jenna B, Jenna H, and Natalie. This year my office was their cafeteria. They lined up daily to use the microwave. If someone else wanted to use it, they were told their spot in line by the girls. Austin has the most meticulous way of picking classes from year to year. I do not think I've ever met a student who spent more time doing it. It was a sign of how much he cared and how dedicated he was to his academics. Austin, please take that dedication on to college. Max would come in almost every day after math class with his leather-wrapped binder and would list off questions for me and told me they were my homework. The next day he'd come in and check to see if I completed my work or if I had to be given detention. Samantha and Jessica. I haven't known the both of you for too long, but we have created a very strong bond, and I wish I got to know you longer. Ryan and Cody. Neither one of them could be found without a Mountain Dew. On the very rare occasion that one of them didn't have one, the other would try selling it to him for $5. Brooke and Alex. Almost always together, usually talking about makeup or hair. Both two very talented girls with very bright futures. Marissa could usually be found resting her eyes on one of my tables in my office, while Maddie would usually come barging in just to ask a question. Cheyenne is one of the first people I'd see in the mornings. Always there and always happy. Hope your happiness stays with you forever. Kayla was my secretary this year. Not really, but she spent so much time in my office she could have been. Last but not least, Ivy. Ivy is one of the most creative students I have ever met, always putting in 110% effort. Although we had a lot of laughs and good times, we had some very serious conversations as well. I want the class of 2020 to know that if they need anything at all in the future, they can always reach out and I will always be there to help. Congratulations to all of you, and I wish you nothing but the best in the future.
Oh, the places you'll go. I read this story to you on your first day of 7th grade, and the message behind the story is as true now as it was 6 years ago. I cannot wait to see what you do with the mountain ahead of you. Be it college, jobs, or later on, much, much, much later on, marriage and kids. To who knows what is out there for you to conquer. It is not going to be easy, but your drive and determination will get you there. Now, some worried you would never get to this point, but look at where you are. Don't get discouraged. You're going to have stumbling blocks, but you can get past them. If you find yourself lost and stumbling for too long, just remember, I and everyone at BCS will be there to give you a motivational boost. We can help you get back on track or find a new and better path. So today is your day. Your mountain is waiting. Get on your way.
Sounded kind of rough. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 8. Is it? What's up, Brookfield Central? Happy graduation to the class of 2020. I'm quite sure some of y'all remember me as Mr. Ark Jackson. Mr. Ark, don't be scared, Jackson. So excited to be coming to you all to just give you a couple of words to send you off for your graduation and this year. Whoo! Woo! Like, so last time I saw you, y'all, I remember it was snow on the ground, and I remember I missed the turn to go up the hill to come see where you all were, but it was amazing to hang out with you all, but so much has gone down since that time. From the pandemic that we've had to deal with, which kept many of you at home, to the unrest that is happening, that has happened around racism and all of that. It's been a unprecedented year. But as troubling as some of that can be, it's such a huge opportunity. You see, class of 2020, I just want to kind of quickly remind you of some of the things that we talked about and also show you how you can implement those things, especially in times like these. Number one, we said don't be scared to destroy your box being that limitation, that thing that holds you back from moving forward. This is now your time to move forward. It is not the time to back down and say, well, the pandemic held me back. No, that's an excuse. No excuses. Gone are the excuses. You cannot say, well, I'm from a small town and I'm just going to stay here. No. I mean, if you choose to do that, have that be a choice. But if you choose to move on, definitely do that. It is up to you. Listen, I shared with you all, I come from a small, it's not even called a town, it's a village called Dixmoor, Dixmoor, Illinois. Population about 1,400 people. I get it. But that didn't stop me. It was something that I wanted to move on and move forward to do. And because I have moved on, I've been able to see so much of the world. Since the time that I've seen you all in January, between now, I've been to two different other. Does that even make sense? I don't think that makes sense. Two other countries outside of the United States just to go after doing what it is I love doing best. And it's working with students like you. So destroy that box. Whatever that limitation is, whatever that thing is that's holding you back, let it go. Number two, do you unapologetically. There is one person you need to impress most. And listen, you've been spending more time with that person, probably more than you like to. That's you. When I say do you, boo, do you. Be proud of who you are. And listen, if there are things about yourself that you're not proud of, that you want to change, you can change them. It's your choice. But here's the thing, go out, be proud of who you are. You're now graduating. You get to be the role model. Don't work so hard to try to be a role model for other people. Work to be that role model for yourself, where you inspire yourself every day and every morning. And listen, there's going to be some days when it's hard. It's going to be tough. Things are going to happen. Don't believe me? Remember the pandemic. So do you unapologetically. No matter what. And finally, don't be scared to get too mad. Get out there and make a difference. however you choose to make a difference. And remember, a difference, it doesn't always have to be on a global perspective. You can make that difference with your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, your best friend, somebody in the neighborhood, somebody outside the neighborhood. You can make that difference. It's all a choice. So class of 2020, the Eric Jackson, I feel like I should be wearing a cap and gown and robe and all this fun stuff, holding on to a podium. But I want you to know you have what it takes to take on this world and have the best life you ever want. So to you, I say, roll up those sleeves, get the work done, destroy that box, do you unapologetically, and get out there and get to mad, get to making a difference. Congratulations, class of 2020. It's been a pleasure meeting you, working with you, and speaking to you. Now go out there and turn up.